open your binders. And if you go past where we were yesterday, past the force investigation, go past the When Pigs Fly page, go past the rotocopter page, okay, get past the When Pigs Fly, and then we get to a page that says 2015 AP Physics 1 Free Response Questions, number 4. Okay, it's one page, front and back. So here's the next thing we're going to do. We're going to actually work AP Physics problems. Why? Because you can. All right, because you're in physics camp and you've already learned more than enough to work an actual AP Physics problem. So let's look at this problem briefly. It should be somewhat familiar. I'm going to read it to you, okay? And I'm going to talk about how you're going to attack this a little bit. I'm going to let you attack it individually first. Then I'm going to let you work with a shoulder partner, and then we'll debrief as a whole group, okay? And before we get into this, brief announcement. Shortly, we're going to be joined by some guests, okay? And these are way cool guests that are going to join us, and they help both to pay for the camp that you're at today and subsidize it because it costs more than just the admission fee to run camp. And they also help to find other like-minded people to fund camp, okay? So they are the primary donors, and they are also people who help us and are a great tailwind at our back, helping us do our job well. So what they want to do is they want to come in and see, we want to see what we paid for. We want to see what camp is. We want to see what it's like to actually be here. So they're going to join us for about 1 or 2 hours. They're going to be here at about 10:30 to 12:30. So they'll be here for about an hour of camp and then join us through lunch as well. And so there's 3 of them coming in. So please just be as courteous and hospitable as possible. And
actually, you might want to talk to the girls too.
Absolutely. And they may chat with you. And so if they come in and they chat with you and that kind of thing, just smile and be nice and realize that they're part of the reason that you and I are here, okay? And so make sure your cell phone's away for the rest of the morning, please. And we're kind of on our best behavior. This is like when you're at your school, maybe your teacher gets observed sometimes, they know about it ahead of time, and they say, come on now, help me out a little bit, right? And if you help me out, I have ice cream tomorrow made with liquid nitrogen, which is really cool. Actually, it's really cold. It's liquid nitrogen. And so we're going to do a lot of cool things with liquid nitrogen, including ice cream. And so we want to help you out tomorrow. But we appreciate your help today. Okay? So they'll be here shortly joining us, and we are looking forward to their visit. And we're not asking for anything special from you because you guys do it all the time anyway, right? Because you're amazing all the time. Just be amazing. All right, great. Let's go on. So 2 identical spheres are released from a device at time equals 0 from the same height, as shown above. Sphere A has no additional velocity and falls straight down. Bullet B is fired horizontally from a gun. Oh wait, no, it's a sphere B is given initial horizontal velocity of magnitude V0 and travels a horizontal distance d before it reaches the ground. Is this familiar? Okay, because every single physics class looks at this problem. Every class does. So here's what they're asking you about it now. The spheres reach the ground at the same time. They tell you the answer ahead of time. They tell you they reach the ground at the same time, TF, time final. Okay? Now they're going to ask you to explain it. Even though sphere B has more distance to cover, air resistance is negligible. The dots below represent sphere A and sphere B. Draw a free body diagram. That's the arrows on the forces. Draw the arrows that show every force. We did that yesterday. We drew arrows and said Fg was gravity, Fn was F normal. And here's an arrow for friction. So if you think there's any forces pushing and pulling the 2 spheres while they're in the air, the first step, letter A there, is to draw the forces. Turn the paper over really quick. Let's go over B and C. B and C, part B is a graph. It asks you to draw the velocity. Please note there are no numbers or any markings at all on the graph. If you want to make any markings, you have to add them. Okay? So if you want to mark any specific velocities on the y-axis, if you want to mark any specific times on the x-axis, you have to mark them. Okay? And then it wants you to draw something about the velocities. And notice it only wants you to draw what velocity? The horizontal, just a horizontal component of each velocity. How fast they're going sideways. And then lastly, part C, what they want you to do here is they say in a clear, coherent paragraph, length, response, explain why the spheres reach the ground at the same time. We discussed this at length. Why do they get to the ground at the same time? Don't tell me. You're going to write it out. And think about this. Now, let me just share with you. This whole problem is worth 7 points. The first part, to draw the arrows for the forces, 1 point. It's either all right or all wrong. The graph is worth 1 point. It's all right or it's all wrong. The paragraph explaining why they get to the ground at the same time. The concept of the physics, 5 points out of 7. So this is AP Physics. What they're going to really try and test is how well you understand things. Part A is actually really easy. Part B is a little bit harder. Part C is not that hard, but most students in America are not amazing writers. I wasn't when I was in high school. And so part of most of the AP test today is how good of a reader and how good of a writer you are. So we're going to start to develop those skills today. And if it's not your greatest strength, great. We're going to grow in that area. Okay? We're going to practice and struggle and grow. So what I'd like you to do is take about 10 minutes. All by yourself, do A, B, and C. And then you're going to break off with some people at your table there and work with a shoulder partner and read your paragraphs back and forth and see what you think. See what you like the most about somebody else's. Do you want to add to your own? Do you want to subtract from your own? Because if you say things that are incorrect, they deduct points. If you say things that are correct and good, they add in points of those 5 points. Okay? So take about 10 minutes, work on it by yourself, and then we're going to start to work in groups. Yes? They are people like Dr. Strong, who go and they grade the test. He graded 5,000 this year. Okay? He counted. He graded 5,000. They come in packets of 50, so he graded 100 packets of 50. It took him 7 days, about 8 to 10 hours a day. 100 packets. Actually, you can actually ask him. He just told me 5,000. I'm repeating what he said. Yes. So he only grades one problem out of the 4 or 5 pre-response. He only grades one of them. But he grades one of them for 8 to 10 hours a day for 7 days straight. And that's called a reading. And so the reading is where they grade the AP pre-response. So when I say they grading them, it's several hundred physics teachers flown in from all over the country to sit there and very carefully grade. And they get very good and very fast. And it takes them only 15 to 30 seconds in most cases to grade a problem. Right? They're very, very fast.
5,000 of them this summer. My arm is still sore from turning.
Arm is still sore.
7 days.
Instead of carpal tunnel, he gets carpal shoulder. No. Okay, take 10 minutes, go.